It's a windy night. The air is cool and very windy. No clouds in the sky, so it's not going to rain. But if there were a lot of clouds in the sky, I would expect a heavy rain to come in tonight, the way the wind is howling. It feels like there's a sense of a cycle or a revolution completed. Like I feel like I'm coming around full circle in a sense, because I started smoking the pipe when it was cold outside, and now the weather's turning around. It's coming back to that again. Still a couple months away, but it's on the way. You can feel it, and it's becoming cool enough that I sit in the shed because it's almost necessary. Not just because I like sitting out here. So it feels strange, because it's like, feels good. It's bringing me back. You know, somehow the weather changes out there in combination with sitting here in the shed brings me back to the first few bowls I smoked. First pipe that I got. It's a nice feeling. I am smoking my Andreas Bauer Meerschaum. This is Neil Jr. Pipe number I don't know. It's a lot of them at this point. I don't remember. There's pipe. There's Sam. My silent partner is here with me. There's Sam, Ed, Samuel. Then came Roy, which I still haven't made a video on, and I need to.
Slacker.
Then after Roy, there was Trish. After Trish was Jeff. And after Jeff was Neil, and then Neil Jr. the very next day. Right? Yeah.
Those are out west.
So this is right before I went out west. So that's 8. Neil Jr. is pipe number 8. A fairly handsome, I think, good-looking meerschaum. Very simple style, you know. I would call this a bent pot. You can see the walls are really thick, which means that this thing never gets hot. It barely even gets warm. So I don't even worry about waxing it or messing with any of that. I don't care. I have cared enough about this pipe to last me a lifetime. Is it going out? It's going out. So, in this pipe, I am smoking tobacco that I've been wanting to talk about for a little while now. Tabac Manil by Vincent Manil. This one is Volute. Volute. This is a Belgian Burley called Semois. There it is. Yep. My silent partner says that Mr. Manil looks like the male Barbra Streisand. And you're right. That's 100% accurate. There he is right there. The sky is falling. The sky is falling on me here today. Everything's falling off the walls in this little shed, and outside is where the wind is blowing, so I don't know what's going on. This tobacco comes in a brick. You can see this orange, this gold kind of shiny foil. It comes packaged like a brick, and dry as a bone. You know, it's like this. It kind of makes you feel like you won a golden ticket from Willy Wonka or something. I don't know. We open it up, and that's it. There's no plastic. It's not sealed at all when you order it. And it comes in the mail. It is not sealed at all. It doesn't need to be because it is bone dry and clearly intended to be sold that way. You don't need to add moisture to it. I'll show you how dry it is. I've got mine in this jar. Can you hear it? I mean, it's insanely dry. It's crazy. Look. You know, it is as dry as I mean, potpourri. Literally, it looks like potpourri. It comes in kind of a ribbon cut, this brick of ribbons that you can easily tear apart. I'll put a picture in there so you can see what I mean. It's a bunch of ribbons that are so dry that you can just shred and pull this brick apart and the ribbons just kind of stick into the air. It is literally as dry as crushed red peppers. If you buy those at the grocery store, you know, to put them on a pizza or something. That's how dry this stuff is. So, you want to be careful how you smoke it. You want to let it smolder. It burns quickly. Going out on me? It burns very quickly. But, some people, a lot of people I've seen say that it should be packed very, very tightly. I have not found that I need to pack it really tightly. In fact, maybe it's just the way that I'm smoking or the pipes that I'm using. But for me, a lighter pack does the trick. I'm going to put that up there. For me, a fairly light pack with just a toast on top and then let it smolder, I get the best tastes out of it that way. Your mileage may vary. When you smell it in the jar, it's straight up autumn. It's dry leaves, dead dry leaves, and a tobacco barn. This is another one of those blends that smells just like my papaw's barn. The musty, dirty floor, you know, the dirt floor, arid but damp in some corners. You know, it's dust and mud at the same time. It's mold on the wooden walls, the siding. You know, it's a straight. It's clear when you taste it or when you smell it that this is a straight, untouched tobacco. It's obvious, smelling it and tasting it. There's nothing added to this. It's totally natural. It's a delicious. This is one of those that knocks your socks off. I think about 10 minutes into the first bowl, I knew I'm going to sell her this stuff. It's that good. What does it taste like? Well, it's a Burley, but it's a very different strain or varietal of Burley, a type of Burley, species of Burley. I don't know what the right word is. I bought it because I'm on a straight Burley run, and I'm trying. It's surprisingly difficult to find straight Burleys. Almost all the Burleys that are out there are either a mix of several different leaves that have been put together in such a way as to accentuate the Burley taste, or kind of treat it like the star of the show in a blend of lots of things. Or they're straight Burleys that have some kind of a casing, topping, flavoring added to them. It's fairly tricky to find just a straight Burley. Now, the first one I tried was Prince Albert. That was the most readily available, and seemed to have a minimal change made to it. Just about as straightforward as you could get. And I fell in love with it. I loved it. Prince Albert is an amazing tobacco. It's still a favorite. It's in my rotation. I did sell. That was the first one that I actually cellared. Mostly because you have to buy so much of it that I had enough to sell her right away. But it was fine because it's really good. Anyhow, in looking for a legitimately straight Burley, I came across people talking about this Semois. Vincent Manil's Semois Burley. There's lots to read about it. You can go and read for yourself. It is apparently there's only one part of the world where this stuff is grown, and there's only one guy in the world. He and his family are growing it. I don't understand that. I don't need to understand. I understand what it's doing to my heart and my soul when I'm smoking it. And that's good enough for me. Top of the bowl is a little bit harsh when you run through the nose. It's very reminiscent of a cigar. This one is very close to a cigar taste without the harshness. When you first light it up and run it through the nose, there's some harshness, but about a quarter of the way through the bowl that subsides and it becomes really smooth. The cigar-like element remains there through the whole bowl. And instead of being an abrasive or bland kind of raw tobacco taste, it's a nice, strong element that feels laced through the body of the flavor you're getting. Man. The body being some combination of dirt, dust, rich soil. There's a bark kind of an aspect to it, like the way bark smells pulled off the tree and dried out for a little while. There's a woody smell more so than a nutty kind of taste, but there is some nuttiness in there. There's it reminds me of Capstan Blue in that it's very easy to alternate through different flavors by chuffing it harder and heavier, hotter, or going very lightly with it, very light sipping. A slight draw or a really hard burn. You can easily slide this scale and get a variety of flavors. I pick up not mothballs, but like a musty closet. I pick up old leather that is that's dirty, like an old tool bag, an old belt or an old sheath for a knife. You know, it brings up images of old tools, men's clothing that's been stored somewhere for a very long time, but dry, not wet. You can keep playing around with it, and you're getting dried, burnt leaves. You're getting, this is difficult to describe. You're getting a campfire or bonfire smell, the smell of burning wood, but it's not the same kind of burning wood smell that people describe as campfire, smoky campfire, when they talk about Latakia. It's different. It's more like a drier wood, like you had one type of wood, maybe a hickory, maybe a walnut. You're burning that one kind of wood, and it's been really, really dried out. Similar to the way that a fire in a fireplace that's in your house doesn't smell like a campfire smells, right? This has a different raw wooden fire kind of smell to it. It's very deep. It's very rich. Yeah, see? There's that old leather, an old leather boot, an old leather jacket. But then you go lighter with it, and you're smelling a dead limb that you found on the ground while you're hiking through the woods. And if you puff it just lightly enough, you pick up something similar to pepper, like ground black pepper, and you start tasting the burley. You can tell that it's a burley. When you sit and smoke it, it's a totally different animal from any other burley that I've had, but you can tell if you spend some time with it, this is definitely a Burley. It's just kind of its own animal. It's delicious. It's absolutely delicious. Mm-hmm. It's both musty and musky. It reminds me of black walnuts. Chewing black walnuts. How there's almost chalky texture. There's an almost, it's kind of a bitter. Bitter isn't quite the right word, but it's kind of a bitter taste. You get little hints of that here and there in there. Here and there and there and here. Now. And there it is right now and here. In there. Yeah. Little hints of black pepper. It's just a wild, it's a wild tobacco. There's nothing, you can tell there's nothing in this. This is just straight tobacco. I don't know how they get it to do what it's doing. I don't know how they get it to taste like it tastes. I don't know what Vincent Manil is doing. Apparently he runs this operation, just his family. He's an angel. Of the tobacco world is what he is, because he has created a tobacco that is simply fantastic. It's not for the faint-hearted. I would not have enjoyed this if I had smoked it in the first 2 months or so of picking up a pipe. It would have gone right past me. It would have gone right over my head. I would not have appreciated it. I would have found it way too close to a cigar. But after smoking what I have up till now, I don't get that at all. It's a very complex and yet accessible, simple, straightforward kind of thing. It punches you. It's, and I don't mean the nicotine. I just mean there's something about the flavor. It's strong. It is defiant. I know that's a weird word. I'm sounding like one of these people. I'm sorry, but I think I said in my last video that when I smoked this, I understood, finally, what those Hollywood schmoes and schmucks are talking about when they describe someone's performance in a movie as being a revelation. Robert De Niro is a revelation. Of what? Of what? How is he a revelation of anything? He's acting. But I smoked it, and it's a revelation. I don't know what else to say. It's defiant. It's a bunch of things that you use to talk about people's personalities and characters, and not the flavor of things that you put in a pipe and smoke. But somehow, magically, he has crossed that line with his tobaccos. This stuff is amazing. It's punchy, but it's a slow motion kind of punch. I smoked it, and 10 minutes into the first bowl, I knew I want to cellar this stuff. Before I had even tasted everything that it offered, I knew I want tons of cellar. I smoked, I think, 3 bowls of it back to back that day. I came home and smoked another one. I was out walking the dog the first time I smoked it. I came home and smoked another bowl. As soon as that bowl was over, I packed and smoked another one. And it's become one of those blends. It's not a blend, it's just one leaf. It's become one of those tobaccos that I can't stop. I keep reaching for it. I've gone through it so fast. I have given a sample of it away to, I think, 3 different people now. Just like, I want everybody to know about this stuff. It's amazing. Yeah, good stuff. woody. It's like walking, it's like taking a walk through the woods in the fall. Doesn't bite. Gets smoother as the bowl goes on, just keeps getting smoother. It grabbed me by the nose and it pulled me down and said, sit. That's how it feels smoking it. Like it grabs you and you sit down and smoke. Just sit there, just sit still. It arrests your attention in the most delightful way. A very delicious tobacco. Not for everybody. You can tell this is going to be a love it or hate it kind of thing.